Again, I'm Natalie Cousins coming to you live. And today I have a very interesting topic to talk about. It is near and dear to my heart because obviously it's something that I have been through. But more importantly, I am wanting to discuss this tonight because of the conversations that I have from time to time with my agents that I'm training or with my designers that I'm training. We talk about money blockages. We talk about things that are holding us back in terms of earning the true money that we deserve. And so I just wanted to talk about money blockages and self-sabotage tonight. Hello, Mike. All right. So today I want to talk about the self-sabotaging behaviors that us as realtors or designers have. So if you guys all don't know, I am a licensed real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm also a design consultant or interior designer, and I am a business consultant who works with the two industries to help them remove the burnout and the overwhelm in their business. And so I started off in this industry in 2000. I actually went to school for architecture and interior design, and I started working for a prominent firm. And I actually saw that me working for somebody definitely wasn't going to be a good retirement plan for me. So I opted to start my own business. So I come from a fourth generation of entrepreneurs. My great grandmother, my great great grandmother, my parents, they all owned businesses. And so I grew up seeing them establish their businesses and do a bakery business, meet demands of 7-Eleven, so on and so forth. And when I migrated to Toronto in the 90s, we then decided to open our own family restaurant. So again, I come from a lifelong line of entrepreneurs. It's in my bloodline. And hello, Alita. And so at the end of the day, I defaulted into consulting just based off the experience that I have had, as well as the other designers that I've worked with in the past. So I really wanted to talk about self-sabotage today because it is some of my clients' biggest challenges right now. And at one point in my life, it was my biggest challenge. At one point, I was making so much money. And then when I lost it all, I started to think that money didn't like me. And I thought that I couldn't keep money as well. And so no matter what it is, I'm sure at some point we all do it, no matter how successful we are, no matter at some point or another, we all fall into this self-sabotage trap, and the price of admission is very high. So in some of my sessions that I host, I say to my clients, what is the biggest issue that you're facing in your business? And for some of them, it would just, they say, I'm not able to make the type of money that I'd like to make. Hello, Alicia. I'm not able to do certain things in my business, and they just start looking at all the things that they can't do in their business. And so what I want to say is that the high price of admission that you're going to pay when you self-sabotage yourself in this business is your income automatically starts to suffer because you're already putting out there in the industry that you're not able to make a specific type of money in your business. Your self-esteem starts to plummet because as the money starts to go down, then your self-esteem starts to go down. And then from there, you have bigger issues. So at the end of the day, what ends up happening, the money starts to go down, then your self-esteem starts to go down. And then what do you think is next? Your self-esteem starts to go down. So what would happen with me is I'd make a ton of money, and then based off whatever was happening, and I kept telling myself, I can't keep money, I can't this, I can't that. I have bad generational curses in terms of money. So my confidence would go down, and then I would start to they talk about introverts and extroverts. I would become an introvert. I would want to stay inside. I wouldn't want to network. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. I would just keep myself confined to my bedroom and not want to be social. So as business owners, we can end up being introverts or extroverts depending on our moods and depending on what happens in our business. and then our business starts to suffer. So the end frustration of this all, when we self-sabotage, is it leads us to frustration, it leads us to burnout, it also leads us to resentment towards our clients and our business. I equate that to buyer's remorse, right? So we start to have buyer's remorse into the dream that we have wanted to establish for ourselves, wanting to start our own business. And then we start to look at all the things that are going wrong, when in reality, I ask my clients, like, how much money is it that you want to make? The whole goal to leave your 9 to 5 or to leave your job or to change careers is because you want an income increase, right? So if you can't say to yourself, okay, I want to make 2 times what I was making at my job, or 2 times of what I was making in my past business, then at the end of the day, you have issues, because it's not that the money's going to come falling from the sky, right? We have to actually work for our business. And so the mindset that we have of, saying that we're not going to be able to make any money, our income's going to suffer, then our self-esteem starts to get lowered, our confidence is all on an all-time low, it is affecting us all across the board. And so this is what I call self-sabotaging behaviors, because at the end of the day, we start to doubt ourselves, and then we start putting it out there in the atmosphere. And at the end of the day, when we put it out there in the universe, it's like negative attracting negative instead of positive to attract positive. And that's like the biggest thing that we have to be mindful of, is the words that we say. So, in my sessions, when I'm talking to my clients and we're going through the mindset portion and the goal setting portion, some of them cannot see themselves getting out of the apartment that they live in, or some cannot see themselves buying a new car. It's like they have so much self-sabotage that they're not able to visualize where it is that they have to go. What used to happen to me was, if I was working with my coach and she would say, close your eyes, visualize yourself, and where do you see yourself, or see yourself speaking to people on stage, or see yourself in a room full of people, what would end up happening is I would close my eyes, but I couldn't see myself. I would be standing off to the side, seeing myself at the podium. The reason being was I had self-sabotage. I cared what so many people thought, and at the end of the day, it was allowing me to not be able to see my true vision. It was seeing what other people see of me. So the downward spiral that we are having, it turns into a devastating situation for our business. And what ends up happening is there are ways to stop it if we are able to learn and recognize the symptoms. So I never used to recognize the symptoms. I'd talk about money. I would make lots of money, and then I would have to start all over again, press the reset button. And at the end of the day, I would, like I said, start to notice that I would start going to becoming like an introvert, staying inside, not wanting to go out and network, not wanting to talk to everyone. And at the end of the day, I had to recognize what the symptoms were. So the symptom I want to focus on today is procrastination. Okay, because that's one of the biggest diseases that a lot of us have. We're not getting forward where we want to. We're relying on so many people as a crutch that we are not actually able to get out of our rut ourselves, right? And then we have procrastination because we don't want to get to something. The to-do piles and the task lists stay high because at the end of the day, we are not focused. So, for example, these are some typical easy self-procrastinations that happen or that take place. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a designer, whether you're a real estate agent, these are the common things that I've noticed. So you meant to follow up with a high-end client, and by the time you got home from doing whatever it was that you were doing, it could have been out late with friends, it could have been networking, it could have been for whatever reason, you just got home too late or you forgot to be able to connect with that high-end client. Let's talk about realtors. Our lives are so busy. We've got to write up offers. We've got to show houses. So you were going to send that offer for the buyer, but you waited too long, only to find out that the house is already sold. So you've set yourself up for disappointment, and now you've set your potential buyer up for disappointment, right? Or it could be something as simple as you waited too long to take advantage of a sales item. I'm an online shopper sometimes, and I'll see something on sale, or it might be in Amazon, and then I'll wait and I'll procrastinate, and then boom, there goes the sale price. It's gone and it's back up to regular price. So at the end of the day, these are some of the simple things that we are stabbing ourselves in the back for, because at the end of the day, we've missed out on opportunities. We failed to just step up to the plate and do the things that we need to do. And at the end of the day, for procrastination, it's very destructive, but some of us don't necessarily realize it, right? So procrastination is what keeps us working late at night, trying to make a deadline. It costs us money. It might cost us late fees and even cost us our business. So if you're prone to procrastination, like I said, this is something that I used to procrastinate a lot or work till the last minute. And one of my go-to things was, oh, I work good under pressure. So you're putting that on like your timelines, you're putting that on your resumes, you're putting that in your descriptions for your bio. I work well under pressure. And it's like you're saying that to convince yourself that it's not procrastination. Mind you, the other person on the other end doesn't want somebody who works better under pressure. They want somebody who can meet deadlines, have things in order. And so I want to talk to you about 3 techniques that I put to use on my end to stop procrastination. And hopefully you can try it and see what it does for you. So at the end of the day, yes, Alita, guilt. Guilt is one of the main things with the procrastination. It's almost equivalent. So at the end of the day, you have to recognize your fear, right? The biggest thing with procrastination is fear. So at the end of the day, if you call on me to talk in a room full of people, I actually have no issues doing that. But at first, to do Facebook lives or Instagram lives or things like that, it was like a daunting task for me, right? And so I would say, okay, I'll go live next week, or, I'll hold off, or maybe I'll pre-record it. And I mean, we all have our things that create fears, but it is one of our biggest diseases, right? So think of a baby, right? When a baby's born, it's like they learn to roll over, right? And as they learn to roll over, then eventually they start to crawl. The real fear begins when they start walking, right? So they recognize their fear. They start looking for the couch to hold on to. They start looking for how many steps they got to get to the coffee table, so on and so forth. So recognizing your fear, and what often keeps us stuck is that, right? Simply having fear is what keeps us stuck. We're afraid that even if we work with somebody like an amazing coach or a business consultant, that we're not going to reach our goals. So we put off applying to work with that coach or that consultant, right? We're afraid that we'll look bad to compare to others if we submit a proposal. We're thinking our numbers aren't right. So we just don't send it. We don't go ahead and work with those buyers that we're trying to work with. We don't go to the consultations, or better yet, we don't charge for consultations, because we're thinking if we say our consultations are free, that's going to get us more business. What is your value? What are you truly worth, right? But if you want to be successful in business, you have to learn to recognize your fears and face them. So it took me a very long time to do Facebook Lives, but now it just comes natural to me. I definitely don't have any issues with it. And in fact, I feel invigorating and I feel empowered when I come on here and I'm able to share my testimonies and share the things that I'm able to teach, right? So we got to break against our fears. The second thing that is an issue with procrastination is being able to visualize the life and the business that we truly desire. So that being said, a lot of the times, the first half of my 90-day transformation blueprint program, the first thing we hone in on is setting goals and creating like the best year ever. And so it's visualizing where you actually see yourself in business. And so a lot of people will jump and say, I want to make 150,000, or I want to make 200K in the next 12 months. But really, saying it is one thing. You got to be able to visualize it, but also you got to be able to put in the work, right? What's the point in putting out that number if you have not even made half of that? Or, we know with Grant Cardone, he talks about the 10x rule of saying, don't be afraid of your dreams or your visions or your goals for things that you want to do, and times it by 10. But if you can't close your eyes and visualize yourself doing that, then what is the point, right? So imagine what it would be like having that amazing business that you've been dreaming about, or you picture your ideal work day and daydream about the fabulous vacations that you want to take with your ideal clients that you're working with, having events, webinars, whatever it is that you want to do. if you can't visualize it, how are you going to make that 100K? How are you going to make that 75K, whatever the amount it is that you want to make? Us as real estate agents, we all know that we want to make, say, an X amount of dollars take home pay because our brokers get a split. Well, at the end of the day, when the broker gets the split, we're not left with that 100K, or we have to double that number to be able to make what it is that we want to make. That means you got to sell more houses. That means you got to show more buyers. You got to get more listings to be able to make that. Even though you know what your average house is that you're going to sell, the numbers don't lie. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you got to be able to visualize what it is that you're working for, what it is that you want. You want to get emotionally attached. Hey, Randy. You want to get emotionally attached. Hey, Kim. Get emotionally attached to those goals to be able to visualize what it is that you truly want. And last but not least, with procrastination, some of us don't reward ourselves, right? So we're afraid to pamper ourselves. We're afraid to spend money on certain things because we have a budget. It's okay to give yourself a little incentive for getting things done, right? Because who else is going to reward you? You're the owner of your empire, right? Even if your spouse is in the back watching you, at the end of the day, you are the one who makes the decision as to what you reward yourself and for the tasks and the things that you have to get done. So treat yourself to lunch. Buy yourself a new pair of shoes. For the guys, it might be that they're looking at getting a new briefcase or a man bag or something of that nature. Do what's most likely to motivate you through the fears that you have of doing all the dreams that you want. And as well, you got to take the next steps, right? So what used to happen for me is I used to, like I said, say I work well under pressure. And so what would happen is the night before an event or the night before a course or whatever, I'd be with my assistants and we'd be working till the wee hours of the night. And then what would happen is in the middle of my presentations, there goes my voice. So we got to be able to plan and execute and have timelines and deadlines, because how are we going to live the life that we truly desire if we're flying at the seat of our pants? And that was one of the big things that I had to break. So when we talk about procrastination, it's not just about the visualization. It's not just about your fear, but it's also failing to complete projects in your life and that it only delays your success, right? So let's talk about right now the honest things that are happening in some of our lives right now. Whether you're a realtor, whether you're a designer, a home stager, whatever it is, you have half-finished tasks right now sitting in a pile, in a book, in a list, in your Outlook somewhere that you just keep on putting off. And it's not that you're busy and it's not that you don't have time. What is ending up happening is you are afraid to get to that list. Something in that list is stopping you from doing what you have to do, or you're lazy, right? And you just don't want to get it done. But then you keep complaining, I'm not making enough money. I don't have enough clients. My bills are due, whatever the case may be. The saying is, if you act like something, you will be something. So if you act like a procrastinator, you're a procrastinator. That's just simply what it is. So how many of us have planned marketing plans out for this year and have not yet touched one item on it, have not done anything for that marketing plan? We keep talking about it. We keep saying that we've got things planned, but there's no action behind it, right? What about those promotions that you talked about starting? Where are they, right? And then in the spring, after it dies down and summer's here and everyone else is busy and you're not, you're asking yourself, what happened, right? So why are they all cluttering up? Or where are they all cluttering it up? Is it on the hard drive on your computer because you're a clicker, and when you look at your desktop, you've got a whole bunch of websites saved, you've got a whole bunch of PDFs saved, or you've got a whole bunch of notes, but there's no action behind them? Now, if you're like a lot of realtors and designers, the answer is you've got several things cooking up in the pot right now. It's just that it's on simmer. You haven't actually looked at it. You haven't actually done anything to execute the plan. And so you're saying to yourself, where do I begin? And then it's like you're afraid to press the reset button. You don't want to get orders in your business, right? So you started off, great enthusiasm. You had all these ideas for 2018. You said that you're going to be able to sell this amount of houses for the month. You're going to close 3-4 deals a month. You're going to work with 20 clients this year, and you're going to decorate those fabulous homes, stage them. What is your closing ratio? We're in the last month of the first quarter. What have you sold? What have you closed in terms of deals? Where are your numbers? I'm a numbers person, just in case you haven't figured that out. I want to see the numbers, right? Like, you got to be able to dissect and work backwards for whatever it is that you have to do. So a lot of us have planned out rough drafts or maybe even outlined a sales funnel. We're not working on that. We don't have anything there, but we just stopped working on it. Something happened in our life. We lost income. We lost something. So we just get back to being that introvert, or better yet, a loner, and crawling into our turtle shell. And we don't want to be seen and we don't want to be heard. Maybe you're thinking that you need to do some more research, or you've lost interest. If you have lost interest in promoting your business, stop, pinch yourself, wake up, and figure out why. Because it's one of two things. You're not happy with what you're doing, you're in it for the wrong reasons, or you don't have passion. But the truth is, none of what we have discussed today is going to be real reasons until you actually look at yourself and fix the things that you keep telling yourself. And you got to get rid of the self-sabotage, right? It's actually a major symptom of lack of confidence, like I said, and it's keeping you from your success. So self-confidence is going to be the one thing that boosts you, gets you to where it is that you need to go. And you got to consider that you cannot actually have a successful rate in your business if you've never finished it. It's like, think of the Olympics. How many people, there are people who have been in the race running, and for whatever reason they trip or fall. What do? They get back up and they complete the race, even if they come in dead last. The fact is they've completed it. So when they go to do the races next year in the Olympics, they can critique their race. They can look back and say, these are the things that I did wrong. These are the things that I'm going to correct. And it makes the world of a difference, right? So rather than filling up your hard drive with all of these projects and these unfinished things, and not having the power to pull through on these projects, start releasing them. Who cares if they're unfinished? You had an idea of a promotion for your business this month, put it out there. You had an idea for an ad, put it out there. You have a new design concept or a new marketing plan to get yourself some leads or some listings, put it out there. See what happens, and then go back. So you're testing it, you're tracking it, you're improving it, and you're repeating it. What's the problem, right? If you do this, what's going to end up happening is you're going to think that it wasn't going to make you money because it wasn't prepared the way that you wanted it to be prepared. Hey, Anne. And at the end of the day, you're going to put it out there and you're going to see results, because the point is you tried, right? Nothing tried, nothing gained. So do this and your business is going to change forever. What I wanted to do today was just invite you guys to a free webinar that I go in way deeper in on this. It's about an hour webinar. I'm going to be hosting it on Wednesday, March the 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the same time that I come on every week, it's just for an hour. It is free. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the top 5 mistakes that real estate and design professionals are making in their business right now, and the 5 money mindsets that will transform your business as they've transformed mine. And I'll be digging deep into the beliefs that can spell disaster for you as a real estate agent or as a design professional. I'm going to share my personal story with you. I'm going to be able to tell you the amount of times I've made a load of money and how many times I've had to restart, and that my self-sabotaging habits that I used to have is what stopped me from creating and building the empire that I'm building right now. All right, so we're going to go over self-limiting beliefs, and this is the number one issue for many of you, is your self-belief. You don't believe that you can get things in life or that you can do certain things, and it's killing you. We're going to easily avoid the 5 money mistakes that realtors and designers make in their business and in their life. And I promise you that you're making at least one of these, and you're not even realizing that you are doing that. And we want to turn off the negative self-talk. I had to keep talking to myself to drive out the negative mind, because there's people around you that are telling you that you can't do it. Then all of a sudden it starts to manifest inside your head, and it's renting rent space in your head. And then after that, it takes over. Okay. With an action plan in place, you're going to be ready to smash through the glass ceiling that you've constructed and finally begin to soar and get the money that you truly desire. Okay. So I can't wait to see what is going to happen once you come to this webinar and you get a whole new taste on money, a whole new taste on life, a whole new taste on removing self-sabotage. And so I've placed the link in the chat. You can go to nataliecousins.com /5 money mistakes. Register for the webinar. It is Wednesday, the 28th of March, and it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As well, the space is limited, so the quicker you register, the quicker you've got your spot. And I guarantee you this is something that you don't want to miss. Again, join me every Wednesday here on live, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And I will be talking to you. This month is the month of March. We're in the last quarter. We're going to talk about springing into action, growing your business, and growing your income. And if you want to talk to me about the main issues that you're facing in your business and you want a discovery call, I am available to talk. You can go to www.nataliecousins.com/book me. Final thing that I want to say is there are a lot of us out there. We look the part, we are dressed the part, but behind the scenes, we're falling apart. And that's not the way that we want to do our business. We want to show up and look well, feel well, and when we get home, be able to live the life that we truly desire. So that's right, Gordon. We want to spring into action. The weather, I'm sure this cold spell that we have going on right now is just about gone. It's the final touches. Spring is here. We want to be out networking. We want to be out telling people about our businesses. But before we do that, we want to remove the self-sabotage so that we can grow our business and our income. It's always a pleasure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I hope that this information has served you purpose. I'm Natalie Cousins. See you again next Wednesday. Thanks so much.